Grace Nzula. I'm an HR consultant with Atara Solutions. Atara Solutions is a HR consultancy and training firm. We offer what we call HR consultancy, where we can do your job evaluations, salary surveys, upgrade your and review your policies, and we can also help you carry out your HR audits, among others. We also offer HR manager outsourced for those organizations that need to outsource their HR services. And we also offer team building and training as well. So for all your organization training needs, please give us a shot at Atara Solutions. We promise to deliver. And we also offer recruitment and selection. If you're looking to hire, you don't have to do it by yourself. We can support you on that. So here you are tuned in to Get It Right, Mystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We are here every Tuesday from 8 o'clock. We've been doing this since 2020, and we are honored to have you come back every Tuesday. For those who are joining us for the first time, we are honored to have you tonight, and we're looking forward to learning together. So allow me to give a shout out to our partners who support us in making sure that these programs are working, and that any other programs that we host, they have been there for us, and therefore we give them a shout out. So we have Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages are cottages located in Jinja, Uganda. If you're looking for a place to take your vacation, bikecation, solocation, whatever cation, Nile Front Cottages are located in Jinja, Uganda. It is about 2 hours drive from Busia border and about 1.5 hours drive from Kampala. It is so beautiful. It is near where Lake Victoria meets River Nile. The fish there is amazing. It's out of this world. And they also run a hotel in Jinja called Skia, and Skia Restaurant. They have employed those with hearing impairment. It is such a beautiful scene. It is an amazing place where everyone is inclusive. And then we have Profiles International. If you're looking to have psychometric assessments, if you're looking to become a Genius Emotional Intelligence coach, then you need to take the certification with Profiles International. We have K2HR Services. K2HR Services are our partners in Rwanda. Are you looking for HR services in Rwanda? Are you looking for training? Are you looking for outsourcing your staff? Are you looking for any HR support around Rwanda? Then K2HR Services should be able to support you on that. We have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions are our partner in Uganda. If you're looking for people who can help you recruit for your boards, if you're looking for people who can help you do evaluations for your board and train your boards, then Steadfast Quality Solutions offer that as a survey consultancy company. It is headed by my good friend Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is a Gallup Strengths certified coach. If you're looking for a coach, then look no further. Herbert Zake will be able to take you through your coaching needs, and he has coached over 500 executives, so he knows what he's doing. And then we have AR Insurance. AR Insurance. Are you looking for WIBA? Are you looking for medical insurance? Are you looking for vehicle insurance? Any insurance need, then AR Insurance will be your people. And then we have Hotel Sapphire. Hotel Sapphire is a hotel located in Mombasa town. If you're looking for a place to host your conferences around Mombasa, if you're looking for a place to meet up for your chama, or just to enjoy coastal cuisines, or just chill out on a Friday evening, then Hotel Sapphire are the best people for that. And we have Tufaha Resort. Tufaha Resort is a luxury hotel located in Nanyuki. Are you looking for a place where you want to host your meetings? Are you looking for a place where you want to go on holiday? They have actually a warm swimming pool. So even in this July, you can actually visit them and you can get to enjoy their beautiful amenities. It is a very, very beautiful place. You need to visit. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. If you're looking to become a woodworking expert or have a passion for DIY items, then Panessa Training Institute offers training in woodworking, and they are currently running their September intake. Please sign up and be able to polish your skills. Then we have Port Sacco for all your Sacco needs. And then we have Sotet Kinyumbani. Sotet Kinyumbani is a hotel located in Nanyuki. If you're passing through Nanyuki, staying in Nanyuki, just visiting Nanyuki, or lunch, dinner, in between, they actually offer Africa food, including mursik. So if you want to eat delicious food, which is totally Kenyan or African, then you need to visit Sotet Kinyumbani in Nanyuki. If you're there on a project, or if you're just passing through as you head to Isiolo, Meru, or any other places, then visit Sotet Kinyumbani, and you will get to enjoy the meals there. And of course, I would like to invite all of you for the Africa Transformation Conference, Leadership Conference. This is happening from the 6th to 8th of August here in Nairobi. Please join us for this conversation. You can check out K2 Career Center or K2 HR Services on LinkedIn and get to see the speakers that are coming in. We have quite the people who will be here. Leadership plus leadership will be meeting here. Do not be left behind. If you're looking to become a leader, if you're a leader, or you're looking to polish your leadership skills, please join us for the Africa Transformational Leadership Conference from the 6th to 8th of August here in
clear, very well organized, structured HR infrastructure organization for HR professionals. We don't have anything like that. We have MSK for marketers, LSK for lawyers, IHRM for HR, but we don't have anything that has been set up correctly for sales guys, not only in Kenya, but across the continent. I mean, it's a massive opportunity. It's a big gap. It's a massive opportunity as well. So that's the first organization that we run. And our intention there is to set up a community of salespeople split by sector and to look after the needs, the networking and career development needs of those people. We are well on our way. We have about 2,500 members to date. I will drop down our profiles and our LinkedIn profiles for you to check us out. That is here. Now, if you run a commercial association, or if you run an association of salespeople, it is only fair that you look after their capability development. So, again, across the African continent, there isn't a single university in Kenya today that teaches sales. The way you have degrees and higher diplomas and postgraduate degrees in HR, there isn't anything like that in sales. There is lots of marketing courses, but there isn't any actual useful, relevant, practical, needs-based career development training for salespeople. And therefore, again, massive opportunity. So we set up Kenya School of Sales, for which I'm the co-founder. So with my colleague Olive, who runs a company called Usudi, which is why if you look at our logo now, Kenya School of Sales is powered by Usudi, is a sales enablement organization. Commercial Club of Africa is the member body. So it's only fair. So we came together, joint venture. We are well on our way. We've done about 6 cohorts of trainers. We actually have training in progress as we speak. Again, we'll drop there links to organization. My purpose is to nurture bold African commercial superstars. That's what I think I'm very clear that what I'm going to do for the next, as long as I'm alive, is I will dedicate a big bulk of my time nurturing bold African commercial superstars. And you will ask me, what is the difference between commercial and sales? Commercial is an intersection between sales and marketing. We are preaching the gospel that salespeople have to be able to do marketing as well. But that's a subject for another day. That is really the difference between sales and commercial. But I hope that gives you a bit of a sense into who I am, what my passions are, what I've been up to. And why, therefore, I'm extremely excited about sales as a concept. I hope that people can be able to unmute themselves, Grace, right? Can they? Fantastic. Cool. So what comes to mind when you hear sales? So I would just like to hear from the audience, anybody in the audience.
They need to lift. They need to lift. Those who can type can type. If somebody wants to speak, they can lift their hand and we can give them permission to.
Okay, cool. I really would like to hear maybe 1 or 2 responses. And then I have another question as well. But question number 1 is really, what comes to mind when you hear sales? What comes to mind? Nothing complicated. It is not a trick question. I really just would like to know what people's perception of sales is.
And Nerea says target, Sarah says pressure, Nerea says money. Stacy, you can unmute yourself. Stacy Muriuki, you can go ahead.
Sales is about closing a deal.
Sales about closing a deal. Okay, cool. Sorry, what do you do for a living, Stacy?
Pharmacist?
You're a salesperson. So you had
Not
salespeople
necessarily. I
training.
don't practice in the traditional sense, but that's my background.
Okay, okay. Very
So,
well, very well.
Kevin, there are quite a number of comments on the chat. Scholar says sealing a deal. Washington says problem solving. Bansi says closing a deal, exchange of value, exchange. See why we don't let people unmute. Eric Miner. Yeah. So we probably can hear from Jacqueline Chege.
Yeah. Jacqueline, what comes to mind when you hear sales?
Okay. Her hand was up. Joseph Kinyanjui.
Yes, sales, it's basically what runs into my mind is basically the process under which we raise revenues for the company.
Okay, cool. So a lot of people think, thank you very much, everyone. And I can see the comments on chat as well. A lot of people are very clear. There's no right or wrong answer. So you're all right, because it's obviously subject to personal interpretation. A lot of people, however, think that sales is this very one-sided transactional relationship where we are really just having a transaction. There is a lot more to it, and I'm actually my organization and I have sort of set up a campaign to clean up a bit the perception that people have of sales, because I think there is a huge perception that salespeople are very transactional, very numbers driven, money, deal. And we want to move that thinking to sales is, yes, it's all of that. Don't get me wrong. You need to make money and you need to hit your targets, but there's a lot more than making money and hitting targets, and that is providing solution. And today I will walk you through a bit of a small framework that I think is useful in terms of being able to provide solution. But before we get into the frameworking, I have a second question, which is, and you can type it in chat. What is your biggest sales challenge right now? So in your professional organization today, do you have any? I hope you do. If you don't, then maybe this is not for you. What is your biggest sales challenge today? If you just to try and put it in one line, what would it be? Or I don't know if you can unmute one or two people as well. But what's your biggest sales challenge right now?
What's the biggest sales challenge? I would say hitting targets. There's somebody saying online selling. Another person says follow-up. I have a lot of work. Mpule Kibiku says conversation, poor sales pipeline. Simon Frank says competitive products on the market. Hard economic times, getting, I don't know what, lack of market, low levels of innovation, pitching, economic crisis, etc.
Follow-up is overwhelming, Clear. Sales is, as you can imagine, it is a conversation that we could be here all night and we could just really barely scratch the surface. So unfortunately, just because of the nature of the conversation there, we will not be able to cover everything. But I do hope I can give you a very simple framework into how to deal with at least the basic understanding of what sales is, and how you as a HR professional can take this framework into your lives and start to utilize it as early as tomorrow morning. Now, I will keep up the engagement, because I really would like to make this a conversation, which is number one. Sales is not manipulation. Sales is not forcing products. Sales is not talking people into it. Sales is not lying to people. Sales is not doing some psychological manipulation of people so that they can buy your product. Sales is value creation, it's problem solving, it's trust building, and it's an exchange of value. As a matter of fact, if you ask me what my definition of sales is, it is really the exchange of value, right? And value in this case, yes, you're giving me money, but I'm also giving you value. And ideally, the best salespeople are the ones who give more value than they get. And we will get into a bit more detail there. But I hope that makes sense. Sales is not manipulation, it's not forcing products. It's really not just, pushing products. Why do I think sales matters for HR? I think sales matters for HR. And the reason I am talking about HR is because my thinking is that a lot of the guys on this webinar will be very HR related, or you will be a HR professional. But I hear that there's a few salespeople in the audience as well. So every HR, so you're already selling, right? You're convincing Exco to fund initiatives. You're winning employees when you're recruiting. Really, what you're doing is you're trying to get people to buy into your organization. Or when you're selling any employee benefit, employee initiative, you're positioning HR as strategic, not support. And I think that point about positioning HR as a strategic value driver for organization is important, and not just a support what is it called, a support function, right? It can be a strategic function, and HR can be strategic business partners. And especially in a world of AI and automation, I have to say that today, especially, the ability to be able to provide what I just spoke about, which is value creating, problem solving, trust building, exchanging value, the ability to be able to do all of that is extremely important today in a world where a lot of tasks can be done or can be automated, are already being automated. If you think about some of the traditional HR roles, a couple of those could already be done by an AI bot, which effectively means that what is left for you to do is to play your role of persuasion, play your role of storytelling, play your role of getting people up and running in terms of ideas, play your role of selling and being a strategic value driver in the organization. So this piece about persuasion and influence are the ultimate human skills. And this is not just specific to HR. I mean, if I was talking to IT people, I'll tell them the same thing. If I was talking to accountants, I'll tell them the same thing, that in a world of AI and automation, persuasion and influence are the ultimate human skills. And effectively, what you realize is that the people who can be able to persuade others and influence others effectively bring the most value and get the most value out of life. Now, if you were to take the sales process and break it down into 4 simple steps, and these are what I call the 4 simple steps to sell anything. Number 1, it would be it's a very simple framework, but we'll get into the detail of it shortly. Number 1 is to discover needs. Once you discover the needs that you're trying to deal with, number 2 is you frame the problem. That is, you present the solution, and 4 is you create movement. Now, a lot of people usually will think that your job is to go and sell, and therefore you walk into a room and what do you do? You sell. You open a mouth and you start talking, without really getting into the detail of who are you talking to, what is the problem you're trying to solve, and what value am I providing. So it's a very simple 4-step framework: discover needs, frame the problem, present the solution, and create movement. And I will walk you now through the framework shortly. Now, about discovering needs, and we're going to have a bit of a conversation here. Discovering needs is about asking better questions, and it's about uncovering pain points. And what I would like to do is I would like to use an example of who has sold anything recently. And you can put it on chat. And what I would like to do is I would like to get to the detail of what did you sell and what was the problem that you're solving. So you sold an ERP. So Mpule Kibiku, maybe we can unmute Mpule, Grace. And I want to hear about this ERP solution that you sold, Mpule.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you are.
Okay, so basically, I work for a ERP company, a software company called UserPoint. So recently, I managed to get a manufacturing client who manufactures, it's a renewable company that manufactures briquettes. So we visited their plant factory, and then from there we sat down and I personally like made sure to now interrogate and just understand how the business operates, number one, and then what are the challenges that they're currently facing. So therefore the ERP managed to streamline their operations. It helps with inventory, it helps, all those good stuff. It helps with sales management, accounts management. So I was able to present that to the client, and I was able to basically streamline the solutions to their particular problem. Yeah.
Very clear. No, very clear. Thank you very much. Lovely example there, Mpule. Two questions for you. One is, okay, so first of all, who are you selling to? Not the name of the person, but the role that they play in the organization, in the client's organization.
Okay. I was the contact person was their general manager.
So you're talking to the GM, right? And what do you do on your end? Are you in sales, or you're in tech, or you're in HR? What are you? What do you do?
So currently I work for a software company, but I am a technical account manager. So I basically handle the sales cycle from the beginning to the end.
Perfect. Cool. And last question is, in your view, what is in that interaction with the GM, what is the one biggest question that you asked to uncover the pain point?
Okay, so I believe even before we got to understand what their pain points were, I made sure to better understand the business operations. So like how do they operate and their daily business activities. And then from there now we were able to the conversation now led to the pain points, because with them taking me through their own business operations, we were able to identify their gaps and their problems that they were currently facing.
Very clear, very clear. So did you ask any questions in the meeting or in your interactions? Can you hear me? Can you still hear me? Did we lose Mpile?
I think we have.
Oh, we have. Okay, clear. Thank you very much. I think she was extremely instrumental in driving the point that even before you get into providing a solution or getting into a sales pitch, as a matter of fact, one of the biggest controversial sales teachings is that rule number one of selling is to not sell. So rule number one of selling is to get to a point where you actually get your if you can avoid selling, which effectively means you are pitching and trying to convince your client to buy. If you can show them the need so brilliantly and talk to them in their own language, in a way that matters to them, about their problem and how your solution can solve that problem, then effectively you don't really have to sell in the traditional sense of the word. You don't have to kill yourself trying to give discounts and get this guy to buy, or all the challenges you guys are talking about, which is competition or excessive follow-up. You obviously need to do all of that, don't get me wrong. But if you do a good job with this first step, which is needs discovery, and you're clear that you have not manufactured the problem, that your solution is not force-fitted, that you're not starting from your solution and then working your way to the customer or the consumer. You have to always start from the problem or from the consumer and then work your way to the to your solution or to your product or to your service. So that's number one. And the only thing I would ask for all of us to do here is, again, in the age of artificial intelligence, I leave you with one more thing here, which is, it is not the person that has the best answers that wins today. It is actually the person with the most questions that wins, especially in an age where ChatGPT has all the information in the world, or almost all the information in the world. Prompting, which is asking questions, actually becomes a very important skill, which is the same thing with human beings, right? By the time you're coming to talk to me, your ability to ask questions like, what happens if we don't solve this? How is this problem affecting cost, revenue or risk, right? And being able to get under the actual problem is really the most important point. I could go on and on about discovering needs, but I hope you get my point about step one is do not move to step two, or do not try and propose a solution. Do not try and propose a problem. Even if you're not selling up, even if you're selling an idea, make sure that your idea actually resonates with the person you're talking to in the sense that it actually solves an actual problem. So be clear on the problem you're solving. Now, this point about framing the problem, which is the second, in my view, the second step, right? So we are clear on what the problem is. We have gone into the detail of it. We have asked questions. We have understood what their problem and what is the current reality of the customer or the person you're talking to. Then we have to translate that problem into business language. We have to move the conversation from attrition is high, which is going to be a very surface level problem. We are losing people, to how much money is attrition costing us? Is it and how do we get to that number, right? And how we get to that number from an attrition perspective. For example, and I'm just using sort of attrition as an example, but how you get to that number is by making sure that you're able to speak the language of the business you're talking to. I was having a conversation last week with IHRA members, and we had a very similar webinar actually. And we were talking about how do you make HR problems, or how do you make people, not HR, how do you make people problems? So, how do you make them business relevant? How do you frame them in a way that actually, speaks to business and actually, gets all the way back to the P&L, and you're able to show, if we do not solve this problem the way I'm suggesting we solve it, this is how much money the business is going to lose, or this is how much cost the business is going to incur. I would like to hear if this resonates with anybody, and if anybody has a question or a comment on framing. Shall we check chats?
Yes, I had a sales meeting today and I converted. Congratulations, Bansi. Maybe you repeat the question. Okay, we have Stacy.
Just on framing, right? So does this make any sense to anybody? Would anybody like to add any views, any questions, any context on framing specifically? Yes, is Stacy? I don't know if that's an old hand or
No,
a new
she's
hand.
just raised it now. Stacy,
Okay,
you can go.
Yeah, my question is around framing with numbers. How exactly do you frame numbers if, let's say, it's something intangible? If, let's say, it's confidence, you're maybe trying to pitch a communications class, and the reason why people are not good at communication is lack of confidence. So how do you frame that into numbers?
That's a good question. Go ahead.
And Kevin, you can also check. I think people are asking for you to use another example. There's somebody saying use another example. Maybe then it becomes clearer. And somebody saying, how do you translate? Michael says, how do I frame a problem if I want to present an insurance product to a client? Hi, Kevin. Relate to when we are also selling to individuals. You can give another example. We have two of those.
Okay, cool. So let's start with confidence, which is the point that Tracy has brought to the table. Now, my go-to trick with framing, especially for intangibles, is to think about the cost of inaction. So if we do not do what you are trying us, getting us to do, Stacy. So it's what did you say? Was it a confidence building? What was it, Stacy? Just remind me what your proposed solution was.
Let's say it's a communications masterclass.
It's a communications masterclass, right? So what is the problem you're solving? Let's start there.
So let's say professionals that are not able to communicate well when at work, due to low confidence, makes them be passed up on promotions. Their work is not visible because they're not communicating as well. Yeah.
Cool. And the business would have a certain business metric today, right? Which is stuff like gross sales value, gross margins, net profit, etc. Right? You'd have some form of a business metric that your business is tracking, correct?
Yes.
And you would know where you are currently. So chances are you're probably struggling, or you're not hitting target, or even if you're hitting target, you think there's a lot more opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And you at the heart of hearts, you believe that this masterclass is actually going to move people from point X to point Y, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So the easiest thing for me is to think about, if we do not do the communications masterclass for, say, the sales team, and the sales team is currently only delivering X amount of money, say, let me throw a number, 100 million, but we believe that they can be able to get to 110 million if they do XYZ, then the cost of inaction is a 10 million shillings, which is the money we are leaving on the table because they're not communicating correctly. Therefore, they're not getting their points across. Therefore, they're not talking to customers well enough. They're not talking to each other. They're not collaborating as well as they could. So that cost of inaction, we can be able to link it back to business metrics, right? By saying the amount of money we are making now, or the current achievement of target is Y. We think we can get to X if we were able to do this, and therefore, if we don't do it, the cost of inaction is the difference.
Okay, makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I hope that also answers some of the questions that came through from the chat. Unfortunately, for some reason, I can't see the chat, but I hope that also answers some of the questions, Grace, as well.
Yes, there's one that has come up. How do I make my products be acceptable to my clients and that they keep giving promises which they aren't fulfilling?
You do not make your products accessible to your clients. Unfortunately,
Acceptable.
you do not make your products acceptable to your clients. You find products, you go and listen to really what the client wants, and you design or you create a product that they cannot say no to, because your product actually solves an actual problem. If you're struggling to make it accessible, then there's something that's not right, that's not fully translating to your client. Either your benefit problematics is wrong, or you are too similar to other products in the market, and therefore the client has choice, or you have either overpriced or underpriced your product. There is something that's not right, and you need to go back and find what is that something that is not right, that is not actually addressing the client need, and you need to solve for that first. I know it's not the answer you're expecting, but I actually really believe that we need to always focus on the things we can control. I have two other steps that I need to go into. So if there but I hope Maloba, yeah, I can see the chat now. I hope Maloba, that makes sense.
Okay, he's not speaking, but there's another one that has come up. Maybe you can finish and then we can do Q&A.
I can finish and then we can do Q&A, because this goes to 9. Okay, cool. Now, that point is no. Remember, we had 4 points, right? The first one was uncover the problem. Number 2 was frame the problem. Number 1 was discover needs. Number 2 was frame the problem. Number 3 was about presenting the solution, right? Please remember that people buy outcomes. People don't buy features. The reason you bought your phone is not because you wanted 10 megapixel camera. It's not because you wanted 2 GB of memory. It's because you wanted to capture memories. It's because you wanted to live a life where you do not have to carry all this information in your head, and you could just subcontract that memory to a device, right? Is because you wanted to connect with your loved ones, right? That's why you bought a phone. Everything I'm talking about is features, but a lot of people actually talk. No, everything I'm talking about is benefits. Sorry, right? Which is the benefit is capture memories. The feature is 10 megapixel camera. And I'm using a phone because I think it's the simplest example that everybody can understand, right? There's this evolution in sales between features to benefits to emotions, right? And there is something that I'm very clear about, which is average salespeople sell features, good salespeople sell benefits, great salespeople sell emotions. And an emotional benefit in this case would be a feature in this case would be 10 megapixel camera. A benefit would be your capture memories, and an emotion would be feel loved or remember how loved you are when you look at the photos in your phone, or capture the love when you take videos of your loved ones, right? Or capture, the growth and see real transformation when you capture the growth of your 1-year-old through the lens of your camera, right? Which is we are still talking about the camera, but we're talking about it extremely differently, right? Which is presenting the solution is not as easy as going to your customer and saying, here is I know you have a problem. I know you don't have a phone. Here is, a phone with 10 GB or 100 GB of memory. No, the point is really being able to take a few steps back and do this evolution. And it will take a bit of time, if I'm honest, for you to be able to sell emotions correctly. And it is actually a skill. It's a teachable skill, or the ability to sell emotion. But at a bare minimum, please let's stop selling features, because people don't care about features. People care about benefits. As a matter of fact, what people care about is outcomes, right? So if you're going to be selling a course, which I do hope to talk to you about a commercial HR bootcamp that we have, which we believe is going to turn you into a commercial superstar. Is going to the course we are doing with IHRM, which is a commercial HR bootcamp, is going to turn you into a commercial superstar that is able to sell your ideas better, that is able to live in the P&L, be a value driver, etc. What's the point I'm making? The point I'm making is not a course that's 3 days that costs 70,000 shillings that is at Chaka launch. That's fine. Those are features. But what are the outcomes you will get out of it? I would really like to pause here and would like to take an example from the audience on, does this resonate on the ability to move from features to benefits to emotions? Let's see. What happens if you don't get feedback on the product on sale? It means you either did not do a good job enough, or you are a bit disconnected from your customer, or your customer has too many options. It means there's something that you need to go back and find what is it that you're not doing correctly. Again, as I said, always focus on what you can control, because that is the only thing you can control. I want to talk about these features versus benefits versus emotions. And I really would like to hear somebody in the audience just say something on, does this resonate? Does it make sense? What are your thoughts?
As they come, there's somebody who's saying, you get ways you can get feedback. There's Q&A, there's after sales service. Why people keep buying iPhones is because Apple releases new features and software. And Ruth Kimeo is saying, I'm in stock market investment. How do I share it to my prospects or invites? Mercy says, yes, I can resonate. I also can resonate with the feature benefit emotion.
Why can you resonate, Grace?
Because most of the time people buy because you have appealed to their emotions, really, or there's whatever you're selling has a benefit to them, and they can I'm avoiding using the word attachment, but they can relate. It can speak to the emotional need, and that is what. Yeah.
So I'm gonna end this segment by giving a simple example, right? Of something that again people resonate with, right? Human beings make emotional decisions and then back it up with logic. So if you think about anything that you've done, right? So you want to take a holiday, and you know deep down that from a financial perspective, you should probably not take a holiday because you honestly cannot afford it. What do you do? Yeah, you arrange it, you make plans for it, and then you actually find a reason as to why you should take the holiday. We haven't taken a holiday with the family in the last 5 years, or I am not gonna get leave again for another 6 months, whatever it is, right? But a lot of people make emotional decisions and then back it up with logic. Our job as salespeople is to connect the product we're selling or the service you're selling to that emotional decision that they want to make, right? Which is why I'm keen to get to storytelling, because I think storytelling is really an important point of all of this selling ecosystem. But I'm gonna leave it there. Present the solution. Please let's move from features to emotions. If you can, please at least get your benefits right. And the fourth one is about creating movement, right? And here I talk about persuasion triggers, which is, again, I'm just gonna, because I'm a teacher, I will repeat exactly where we are. Number one was discover needs. Number two was about framing the problem. Number three is about presenting the solution. And number four is how do you get people moving, right? Because I see a lot of you guys are asking, how do I get my customers to move? How do I get my customers to talk to me, etc. There's these three things or three levers or triggers, which are called persuasion triggers, which are urgency, is getting people to making your customers or the people you're talking to actually see the urgency of not acting. It is not the benefit of acting, because I think people actually work a lot from loss aversion other than benefit gaining. So if you can actually be able to show people what is it there, what are they losing today by not acting, right? So if you don't buy my book today, you'll continue living in XYZ state. If you don't buy my car today, you'll continue. If you don't buy my course today, no, right? So urgency is extremely important. So act now, not later. And you need to be able to frame your solution in a way that actually shows whoever it is that you're talking to, the individual you're talking to, your son, your wife, your husband, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you're selling has to be sold in an urgent, and an urgency is not buy now, and killing them to buy now. Urgency is showing them the cost of inaction, right? Again, approve to appeal to that emotional thing we spoke about. The second point is exclusivity, right? Human beings like things they cannot get. Yeah. And therefore, if you can show them something that is only unique to them, if you can personalize the offer, right? I'm only going to give you a 10% discount, and this 10% discount is only available today, and it's only available to you, right? We know we are only going to sell 15 slots in this class, and we have already sold 12, so we only have 3 slots left. etc, right? The point is, people want what they cannot find. If they know that they can always find it, if they know that everybody else has it, then what's the point? Why am I buying it? And then simplicity is extremely important, right? Especially for you that are selling tech, heavy, technical, sort of very, very complicated product. It is our job as salespeople. It is our job as salesmen and women, which is what we all are, even if you're not. It is our job to simplify our solutions as much as possible. So, persuasion triggers: 1, urgency; sell the cost of inaction; 2, exclusivity, find something that is unique, that is exclusive, and that can be personalized to the person you're talking to, and make it super simple, right? Please don't make me go to a website and then download something and then add to cart and then wait for somebody to deliver it. And then, Jesus Christ, by the time it gets to me, I'm like, you know what, it's never that serious. We have to find ways of simplifying the consumer usage journey as much as possible. And this also goes to you who are interviewing, especially you who are interviewing us for jobs, right? Don't make me do 8, 9 interviews, especially if you're headhunting, right? Because then, come on, the process, you still have to follow due process, but find ways of really simplifying that process as much as possible. The last thing that I am going to talk to you about is this myths about sales. So, this myth of good products sell themselves. No, they don't. Yeah. Even Coca-Cola and even Apple, Toyota, show me a lovely big business that is not selling or marketing or advertising. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how good your idea is. It still has to go through the process I've spoken about. Because listen, there's hundreds of thousands of other better ideas out there or of other good products out there. So you actually have to go through the process of selling. I am not in sales. Yes, you are. It doesn't matter. Even if you're the head of HR or the CEO of your business, you are in sales. Selling is about talking. No. Yes. Okay, fine. It is about talking, but it's not about just talking for an hour. Sales is about asking questions, is about listening, actually. It's about sitting there and really asking really useful questions, not open-ended yes or no, not closed questions, yes or no, but open-ended questions of why are you feeling like that? What are you looking for? What is the cost of you not doing this? What else have you explored? So the truth is everybody sells. The best salespeople ask, listen, and reframe. And then I'll talk to you about storytelling quickly. And the reason why storytelling is important is if you can connect whatever it is you're selling to some sort of story. Our brains are not meant to remember facts and figures and data. Our brains are wired to remember story and funny characters and to remember color and music, and because that's the exciting stuff. That entertaining stuff is really what our brains are wired to remember. So the reason why storytelling is important, and we do a whole storytelling course on how to tell story correctly as a salesperson, is because storytelling connects emotionally, makes information memorable, helps prospect visualize outcomes, and builds trust and credibility. And effective storytelling techniques is the challenge, solution, result. So I had this customer who had this challenge. This is a solution that I gave that customer, and this was a result of that. A very simple framework, right? Even if you're talking about another one of your customers, it's better than telling them this is the result you will get, just giving them the result as is. Link that result to a small story that then makes it a lot more memorable. I will leave this presentation. I will send this presentation to you, Grace, so that you guys can be able to read through it, because I am conscious of time. But when do you use stories in the sales process? You use stories when you are in the discovery phase to build rapport and demonstrate empathy. During the pitch presentation to illustrate key benefits and features. I think I've spoken about objection handling. So countering objections with a story about another client who had the same concern and how it was successfully addressed. When you're closing, reinforce the value proposition with a story that encapsulates the transformation that the prospect can expect. Basically, you use storytelling everywhere. That's really the point of this point. And I wanted to do this mini case simulation, but I think we've done a bit of it. I wanted to also leave you guys with two, what I think are two very, very, very useful books. One is this book called The Challenger Sale by Matthew Dixon. Unbelievable book, and it talks about the different kinds of salespeople, and they have this one kind of salesperson called the challenger, and they talk about who the challenger is and why the challenger is important. Please look it up. And then there's, if you really are into negotiation and if you really want to get into the details of negotiation, this book called Never Split the Difference, which is actually written by an ex-FBI hostage negotiation expert. He actually gets into the nitty-gritty of psychology, of how people think under pressure, and how you can then be able to really work your way into situations through negotiating your way out of stuff. Extremely exciting book. Yeah, so these are the two books I would leave with you. If you can get the time, please find time to read them. And then yeah, my opportunity to sell you something. We have this commercial HR bootcamp that's coming up. There's always, I'm a salesperson, there's always an angle to these things. So if you'd like to go through 3 days of us taking you through a lot more deeper science-based, structure-oriented, outcome-focused sales strategy. As a HR person, we have this bootcamp that we have curated with IHRM. So we are, Kenya School of Sales is an IHRM partner. We call it the Commercial HR Leader Bootcamp. It's on the 1st to the 3rd of October. It's in Chaka Lodge and in Machakos. A lot of this information has already been shared in a lot of HR WhatsApp groups. It's on email. Please do talk to us as well. We are extremely excited to spend 3 days of our lives with you guys. We'll bring CEOs and super salespeople talk to you about how can you really then move your life. You're a consultant, how do you sell more? You are a HR person, how do you, everything we're talking about. And I really hope that we can be able to get to see you guys at the bootcamp. Is there anything else? In closing, sales is equals to influence, leadership, and growth. If you can't sell, you honestly cannot scale both your organization, your function, your ideas, your thinking, your people, your life, right? So everybody should be a salesperson. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. You guys can share with Kevin the emojis that you can show your appreciation. And you have done an amazing, amazing job as always. It's a pleasure listening to you, Kevin. And you can see the emojis are coming up quite there. So amazing, amazing job. We celebrate you. There's somebody is asking, how do we contact you, Kevin, on the chat?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Let me sort that out just now.
Yeah, so for those of you sharing your emails, I believe we already have them because you registered for this. However, we normally don't really send the notes. The recording is on our YouTube channel. You can always interact with that, and you can actually get to learn as you listen to what Kevin was talking about. So there you go. Kevin has actually shared the contact details. Paul has put in the YouTube channel on the chat. You can subscribe, and we will have the recording down there, and you can be able to review it and get to see it. And there's one question that had come, maybe that we can quickly. How soon will it be on YouTube? By the end of day tomorrow. My former boss AO really missed his sales wisdom. Right. There was another question I had seen from Lillian.
How much is the boot? That's a good question. I like that bootcamp question. The bootcamp is 70,000 shillings. It happens on 3 days. That's first, second, and third. Grace, do we have 2 minutes? I think Alex, our GM of Kenya School of Sales, is on the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
They can lift their hand and we can be able to unmute them.
Alex, if you're on the line, please unmute yourself. Just please talk about a bit more about the bootcamp if you are on the line, Alex.
It's Alex who?
Alex Mahogo.
I can see him.
There you go. Alex, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Kelvin. Thanks everybody for being with us. I'll speak very quickly about the bootcamp. I'm trying to post the link to the more details there.
Alex, as you do that, Kevin, you can copy paste what you've put on the screen onto the chat. Your email, yeah. Thanks. Go ahead. Sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
I have posted the link to the event. It is on the IHRM portal. But very quickly, I'll give a snapshot of what it will be about. We have partnered with, my name is Alex Mahogo, sorry, and I work with Kenya School of Sales as the general manager. We have partnered with the Institute of Human Resource Management because of the realization that in today's business environment, the role of HR leaders has evolved far beyond being just a policy custodian, and now metrics are actually being measured depending on your ability to confidently sell a HR initiative internally and collect your programs to a measurable return on investment. So you're now expected to actually influence stakeholders across various operations of the business. And so the IHRM recognized the critical need to equip HR professionals with the skills to become powerful internal influencers who can drive meaningful change. And so when we partnered, we said, let's bring this together and do it as an intensive 3-day experience designed to transform HR people from administrators to strategic business partners. So this bootcamp is aligned with the way we design our programs at KSS, which follow the 4 quadrants of core, business, leadership, and self. So we make sure that when we design our programs, they hit each of those pillars. And therefore, out of this program, what you're going to gain is core consultative selling skills, so that then that can elevate your HR conversations. You will master the language of business by learning how to link HR programs to measurable KPIs, and then you will be able to pitch initiatives with impact. You will be able to develop leadership skills like influencing without authority and negotiating persuasively. And so with that, you'll be able to walk away with personal growth in resilience, self-awareness, and we shall throw in AI enablement into that conversation. So over those 3 days, you will be able to embark on a journey that will fundamentally change how you approach your role. Yeah. So day 1 will focus on the foundations of influence and internal sellings, with modules that will build on trust, stakeholder mapping, and using AI for HR sales enablement. Day 2, we shall focus on driving HR ideas through commercial value. And so you will learn how to do advanced discovery techniques, how to do value proposition creation, and how to handle objections and negotiate for resources. And so day 3, we will integrate, plan, and give you certification. So you will be able to present a project that you shall have worked on over those 3 days, so that then you will leave there with a complete ready to implement HR proposal, which you can take back to your organization. We know quite a number of organizations will be having their strategy sessions at the end of this year. And so in those conversations, if you are leading the HR function, you will be sitting and defending a budget. And so that is part of what you shall be able to come out with. IHRM is going to award 6 CPD points for that. And as Kelvin has said, the fee there is 70,000. And the last date for registration is on 26th, this Friday. So there's still some time. And we would like to have all of you join us for that bootcamp. And I hope I have communicated sufficiently. I have posted the link on the group, and I would also want to share my name, my mobile number on the group as well, in case you have any questions. It is exclusive of accommodation.
Cool. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Grace, and thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to talk to you. I will end here by saying that for the longest time, salespeople have been seen as wale watu wa kuongea sana, wale watu wa kuongea mingi by I was talking to a colleague of mine called Gadhoni, who is in HR, and she was telling me watu wa HR hawapendi watu wa sales kwa sababu watu wa sales wanaongeanga sana na wanakuanga na uongo mingi. It is time for us to change that narrative, but it is also important for us to also work better together as functions. And we in sales, me being the top evangelist of salespeople, I am here with you, talking to you every day, right? Ensuring that we can bridge the world of sales and the world of HR, because you are the ones who determine our training budgets. You're the ones who hire us. You're the ones who determine our career aspirations in your organization. It's only makes sense for us to work better together. And so you have my commitment that we will continue to do everything in our power to make sure that HR, people, and the commercial organization, in as best as we can control it, we continue to work better together. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Kevin, and the entire team at KSS, or is it CCA, for both. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for making impact in terms of sales. And we really appreciate that you are on a mission to do this, and I really, really wish you the very best. And to you, our audience, thank you very much for making the time to be here. Like I said, this is Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and we are here to demystify issues that affect employers and employees. And you can follow us on Instagram, Atara Solutions, like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions, connect with us on LinkedIn, Atara Solutions, and which is the other one? Like our Facebook page. I've forgotten one. Anyway, all those, because we are on social media. And of course, see you next Tuesday. We are normally here every Tuesday. If you're joining us for the first time, we are normally here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So do join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. for another interesting conversation next week. And we have an October that is very, very well aligned. Kevin, you're sending to host and panelists. You might as well send to all. So thank you so much for making it here. And I hope that this session makes you better salespeople. And of course, you can sign up for the lesson, or rather courses from Kenya School of Sales. And of course, join the commercial club HR leaders that is happening next week as well down in Machakos, and I'm sure the learning will be worth your while. I don't know whether you needed to say something, Richard.
Actually, you've taken the word out of my mouth. That Kevin has done excellent demystification of the concept of sales, especially where you sell the benefits, not really the features, and of course, not selling the price of something. I like the sequence that you need to know the needs and then progress towards the movement. Thank you very much, Kevin, for breaking those concepts. I hope people who sell insurance, because they're the ones who face the greatest difficulty, they will be in Machakos to get to know. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Richard. Kevin, one line, a parting shot.
Everybody should be a salesperson.
Excellent. Everybody should be a salesperson. Everybody is a salesperson. You just need to become better at it. And
Activate it.
Yes, activate it. Yes. So thank you very much, guys. And at this point in time, we want to wish you a lovely night. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place, as we demystify yet another concept. And if you're in Mombasa, let me just sell out Richard. Please look for Richard for tea. He's going to be around for a while. And I am sure he will be open to having tea with you if you're here. You can have tea for the both of us, because we canceled our tea event this Friday. But nonetheless, we're looking forward to having you. Thank you so much, and have yourselves a lovely, lovely night.
Let me go
unasema nini? Unaona Jennifer anasema nini? Kumbe naweza ingiza mtu box. Hey, Jennifer. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Imagine.